it's cached. You make it bigger. You make it bigger. Let me make this window bigger. Hmm. Um, 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 Hi, people. Welcome to the first live stream. I am still trying to figure out exactly how I can make some of the screen bigger. Let's see if I can verify that this is working. And I see something with the chat got a little messed up, so I'll have to see if I can fix that. See, how did I do that? Where's that? Chat. Well, see if I can. I'm gonna see if I can change this chat over to. Yeah, there we go. Fixing it real time. Here we go. Okay, let me, one moment, folks. Let me, here we go. Well, one moment. Have the chat on the wrong screen. It is trying to get it onto the. This isn't going to work if I can't get the chat on the right screen. It's on the preview screen, but it's not on the regular screen. Well, we've found our first glitch for today. See if we can get this chat onto the proper screen. Stream chat, video, capture device. formats, figure, video. Let's see. How do you get to the trying to see if I can get this chat to go on the regular video because it is not is on the preview screen. Mm. Get this to move over to the let's see. I don't think I'm gonna be able to get that to move over there. Interact. I didn't see this as being an issue. Here we are with this trying to move the chat over to the real-time screen. Let's see if see what happens if here. Oh, actually got a well, I'm able to see your comments. Will you accept APAC money? Absolutely not. Would be helpful if I could see the comments on the screen though, and I think everybody would like to see the comments on the screen if I could get them to go there. Let's see, program screen. Let's see if we can maybe in here. Output selection, no. Well, stream chat properties. Let me see here. Give me 1 second, folks. I'm going to, if I can, let's see if I can, see if I can figure this out by asking online. 1 second. Let me see here. Okay, it's giving me, okay, look at your sources panel. Sources panel. Oh, there it is. Okay, good. And let's see what it says to do here. Find the source name chat, browser, something else. Right click that source. It's like remove. Okay. I see. I think I can fix this relatively quickly. Remove. Yes. Okay. And bear with me, folks. I'll have this fixed in a moment. Okay, go to the top menu bar in OBS Studio and click on the docs. Yeah. And check chat from the drop down list. Okay. And then, let's see here. Drag the newly open chat window by its title bar and snap at the side of your OBS interface where you want to stay. Sources, add icon bonus. Yes, I did this before. Okay, so one moment. I'll have this sorted out. It's always something, right? First time you try to do something, that's how it usually goes. So just give me a moment. We'll get this sorted out. Browser. We're gonna add a new browser. Let's delete this one. Add new browser. This we make. Here. Okay, this is, remember this. That. 1 second. 3/4 of the way there. Okay, and then there's a widget there that I grabbed. I see this. Should be able to do this. Paste. Okay. Well, yeah, this is a problem. Oh, no, let's see. Okay, well, I guess it's saying that it needs to stay on the previous screen. Ah, and there it is. I can see it over there. Okay, so I guess learning something every day. Here we go. This like that, this like that. Add when existing. Okay, now move this over to here. And yeah, all right. Now let's see if I can. If I can make this screen bigger, would be fantastic view. Can we make this screen bigger? Well, open program projector. Ah, it'd be great if I could actually see those messages. They're too small for me to read, of course. Tools now. One moment. Let me see if I can make this. There we go. I actually got it. All right. I've got a full screen. I can read the chat. Is the chat working? That's a good question. Well, sorry for the delay, folks. I have not done this before. I've done live streams before, but I've never configured it myself, and I've never set it up myself. This is my own PC that I built and a couple years ago, and I decided, best way to try and reach out to people across this district is have a platform like this. Nothing better than a live stream. You could tune right in and ask me questions right here, and I'll do my very best to answer them. I'm just going to double check that you can all hear me. So we've got an election coming up here in just a couple of days. And they both sides, Democrats and Republicans, are painting Democratic Socialists to be the big bad boogeyman, like we've been painted in the past. It's like 1950s boogeyman stuff, They the McCarthyism, I get if I got $1 for every time I got called a communist every day, I wouldn't have to do any more fundraising. Democratic Socialists, I think we need to do a better job of explaining ourselves, and I'll absolutely do that. There's a pretty good YouTube video that I watched a few months ago that did a really good explanation of it. I'm always looking for better ways to explain things and better tools to use to reach people and, give people the means to understand. Um, they had a timeline set up like a ruler, and the center was neutral politics, and all the way there was all the way to the right, which was they had fascism all the way to the right, and then they had socialism all the way to the left. And the um, the, the democratic socialism that I subscribe to and that Bernie Sanders subscribes to is about the midpoint of center to all the way left. And socialism all the way to the left is it shares a lot of the things with communism. Socialism in the middle part of that spectrum is what we what we were calling democratic socialism. And democratic socialism uses parts of democracy, like voting and public comment, and we want people to decide the leaders and the policies. And what democratic socialism is basically, the state owns the aspects that people use every day to live, like the basic infrastructure things that everybody is requiring to live. So you're talking like water, electricity, heat, healthcare, childcare. These are, it's not like these are supposed to be big corporations. These are aspects of human existence that it feels really upside down to me for someone to be making profit off of someone's illness. So that's, when I talk about the Medicare for all that I'm pushing for, I've talked numerous times about eliminating insurance companies out of this equation. And this is something that Bernie Sanders talks about too. This isn't a new concept that I'm just coming up with. Insurance companies exist for profit only. That's it. Anybody that's had a procedure denied knows the truth of this. Like, there's procedures that insurance companies can just deny because it cuts too much into their bottom line. They are the only thing health that is associated with a health insurance company is the word health in their name. That's it. Otherwise, it's a corporation. They are there for their stockholders and the portfolios of those stockholders. And if the procedures that you are being prescribed cut too far into those profit margins, they're going to tell you no. I don't think that's right. I think healthcare is a human right that everybody should have the basic tools and fundamentals at their availability to be healthy. That's how you have a strong country. That's how you have a strong citizenry. That's how you have a strong America. There's things that we can do to help people have happier, healthier lives. And when we start to have everybody be happier and healthier, then you see less crime, then you see less people in prisons, then you see less hurt and abuse, and you see people genuinely happier and living longer and having better lives with their kids and things like that. So, well, that's a really nice message from Eau Claire. Thank you very much. Yeah, I'm kind of sticking my neck out there today, doing something crazy. It's, I'm sure I have plenty of Democratic friends going, "Oh my God, what's she doing?" And it's just waiting for the chat to just explode with the upside down comments. And I have a moderator, so she's she's my bestie, and we're. I made a promise when I started this run that I would stay in tune and in touch with the people of District 8. And I can very much have a political discourse and disagree with anyone and be very respectful. I just had a talk 2 days ago at Mile of Music. I was on the street corner of College Avenue and Oneida in Appleton, so right at Houdini Plaza. And this young man came walking by with a guitar strapped on his back, and he looked at my cat cards, and which is my campaign card. And he's looking at it, and he comes over and starts talking to me, and I find out that he's a Republican. We ended up talking for about 15 minutes, and it didn't get ugly. It didn't get disrespectful. It didn't get hurtful. I listened because I want to hear about the things that he's going through too. It's like I'm here to represent everybody. That's the truth of it, and we're not seeing that from our current representative. I mean, he doesn't even show up to represent and speak to the people that voted him in. I would hope that folks on both sides of the aisle can see efforts from people like me where we're reaching out and genuinely want to help and care and make this district better. And that's what a politician's supposed to do. That's one of their jobs. The other job that we need to do, and I've been doing my dangest trying to do this part of the job, but we need to be out there riling people up, because the only way you're going to get them to vote is if their heart's in it. And you ain't going to get people all riled up just by walking that safe center line. It's that's why I have a copy of Project 2025. That goes with me to all the speaking events now. Even if I haven't rolled it out, I've had it in the car. I've had it right there. 900 pages. That thing, it's like lifting a cinder block. I can go get it right now. It's sitting right over on the other side of the shot. People need to see these things in real life. They need to see Project 2025 and understand it's real. Like, the Heritage Foundation authored this thing, and they're following it. If you look to see all the things that they've done over the last 18 months, it's all in there. It's not them just throwing Trump darts at the imaginary dartboard on the wall. They're following this playbook that they've written out, and they're about 55% of the way through it. So Republican Party's being real quiet right now, There's a reason. Because they want you to think it's safe to walk that middle line. They want you to vote like we've been voting for the last 30 years, 40 years, whatever it is, my whole life. We see the Republican Party get power, and they all vote in agreement, lockstep, to get their policies pushed through. And then when the pendulum swings back to the left, as it always does, we vote in centerline politicians who don't do nothing. So we continue to see rights and privileges that we've fought for get eroded away. And that's how we've gotten to the point that we're at. That's the long and the short of it. That's how we've gotten to the point that we're at. When you keep voting, and I keep, like all of us, they tell us vote blue no matter who. And yeah, a Democrat's in there, even if their center line, is going to be better than a Republican being in there, because we know what they're doing. There's running Project 2025 on us. But it doesn't help if we're not pushing back to get the rights back that they've been sweeping up. We have to be pushing back at least as hard as they've been pushing, because I don't like the way the country's been going. And I know everybody I talked to out there, even that young man with the guitar strapped on his back that said he was a Republican, he said he didn't like the way the country was going. And we ended up giving each other a hug at the end of that talk. You know, we both thanked one another for having a decent conversation and not getting ugly. And you can have those conversations. I mean, like trans women having a conversation with a Republican, like that's probably about as wild extreme as you get, you know. As far as like making them accept something that they're not necessarily all on board with accepting, and it's fine. Had a great talk. We talked about financial situation in this country, and we talked about the views that I have, and the vision that I've had after looking at the knowledge, after looking at the information that is available to someone like me, that yeah, it's out there for anybody to see. You can dig into things like the tax code and see where things are at. You can dig into things like what people have paid for, taxes and things like that. Based on income levels and things, it's not like you're going to go look up people's actual tax returns. But yeah, it was a good conversation. And when I talk about taxing the rich, what that is it's the oligarch class. It's the 1%. And let's not beat around the bush about it. There's 1,135 billionaires in the United States. That's the 1%. People have asked me why Republicans will continue to vote for tax cuts for the richest 1%. And I've watched a lot of videos on this, and I've listened to a lot of speakers on this, and it's American optimism is what it is. People will vote for how they see themselves being. So literally, you have people voting to lower the taxes of the most wealthy in this country because they have the thought, when I become a billionaire, I don't want to have those taxes. Like, honey, I hate to break it to you, all of us are closer to being broke than we are to being billionaires. And just some helpful advice, I would vote for things that actually help you now versus speculation. I would love for us to all be billionaires. That'd be fantastic. Probably have a better chance of finding a beanstalk outside. Just saying. So I know there's so many people out there in rural areas that are hurting, people that are suffering, that are trying to get by on meager wages. And I talk about, $22 an hour minimum wage. We need to get this done. I just watched the speech that Bernie Sanders gave the other night on YouTube, and he had this really great speech that he came out with after Saeed won in Michigan, and it's happening from sea to shining sea. Democratic socialists, progressives are getting elected, and that's why I feel like I have a pretty strong chance at this. I'm a progressive, I'm a democratic socialist, and I show up for America. I don't care about the job title. I don't care about getting any sort of credit. I'm not in this for the money. I've been a musician for 35 years. If I was interested in the money, I would have been a lawyer. I've been broke and happy, and money doesn't buy happiness. I mean, it can make you happy at points, but I'm probably the happiest I've ever been in my entire life. And I can't stand to see people in this country suffer and get hurt anymore and not do something about it. So, I was seeing friends of mine not being able to buy groceries, not being able to pay for rent, not being able to pay for heat, having to choose between food on the table and paying the rent. And this is supposed to be the richest country in the world, isn't it? That's what they keep telling us, right? It's the richest country in the world. For who? Like, everybody I know is scraping and scratching to get by. It's I just saw on the AP News this morning there was 23,000 jobs that got cut in July, and it's not good out there right now. They'll try to paint it. It's Trump and the government and the stockholders. They will try to paint that it's good out there, and the truth of that whole matter is they're trying to convince us that the stock market is the economy. And this is something that I talked about the other night on one of my videos that folks just don't talk enough about. The economy is not the stock market. The economy is based on the velocity of money and how much money is moving around. When you have currency, like the whole purpose of currency is to use it. It's to spread it around. Because when I have $20 and then I take it over to my neighbor and my neighbor's a butcher and I spend $20 in his butcher shop, then he takes that $20 and goes across the street to our other neighbor who makes clothes and spends the $20 with him, and then that neighbor takes the $20. It moves around. That's the driving force of the economy. That's what the economy is. That's the money moving around and being able to be used by folks. So when you put more money in the hands of people that move it around, you have a better economy, and then there's more money going into businesses, and people can actually go on vacations and buy new cars and save money for the kids for college or Tide Pods. I don't know. I don't know what kids are doing these days that is deemed unacceptable. But Tide Pods was an unacceptable one when I was a kid. That was serious case of bad judgment on that one. But I didn't partake in that. It gives people the ability to actually save some money and not be standing in a river of water with the level right here at your nose. It's the majority of people in this country right now are one emergency expenditure away from not making it. So how is that the richest country in the world? They're basing that statement on the overall wealth with all these billionaires. But I mean, like, you look at Elon Musk, he's got more. That one man has more money than the lower half of the citizens in this country. That's the greatest example of wealth inequality that has ever been. And there's an old joke that I've been telling a bit that hopefully you get a kick out of this. You know what happens when you tax billionaires? They're still billionaires. They'll be just fine. Trust me. It's really easy to find tax structures that work for this country because we have historical precedents that we can look to of when tax structures in this country worked. And what I mean by worked is they worked for the middle class and the working class of this country. The 1950s was pretty lucrative for the middle class of America and the working class of America. So you look at what the tax structure was during the time of Dwight D. Eisenhower, and that's where we start to build this working class and middle class America back. As you had FDR, who was basically the founding father of the middle class, and then Eisenhower showed up with 90% tax on the wealthiest in the country. He's the one that gave the momentum to the middle class, and ever since Reagan, they've been taking it away. I just gotta tell you how it is. Trickle down economics do not work. They do not work. And let's get this straight. When ever was a trickle supposed to be good enough? The whole let them eat cake business, I don't know about you, but crumbs never sounded awesome to me when they're sitting there eating a steak. They can take a piece of the steak. They still got a whole big ass steak, So I'm running on Medicare for All, and I would like to see no premiums and no deductibles. And when we have the money in this country to write a blank check for hate groups like ICE, we've got the money to give people health care. Like, we need border patrol in this country for sure. I'm not saying that we don't. We need people that are, customs officers. We do need them. That's not what they're doing. They're intimidating people. They are zip tying little kids and disappearing them to God knows where. Literally killing people in the streets. Because, let me remind you of Alex Brady and Renee Good. And numerous others. They're out of control, and they are literally some of the most hurtful, hateful people in our society. They were handpicked because of this, of the cruelty being the point. When we have the money to give them a blank check to go out there and just raise chaos and destruction and hurt people and tear families apart, we have the money to give people health care. And when we have the money to waste on an unconstitutional war, unconstitutional, because Congress has the power to declare war. Iran had no immediate threat posed to the United States. Full stop. It needs to end. Because not only do we keep siphoning money out of the American taxpayers' pocket to go and spend on weapons, it's the military-industrial complex at work all over again. Just keep creating wars out of thin air so we can keep buying missiles and things like that. And I'm a Second Amendment rights person, so don't think I'm trying to take your guns away or anything like that. It's not what this is. It's, at buying more fighter jets isn't the same as having a 1911 in your desk drawer. We have the money to give people health care. They will convince you that we don't. Same as they've tried to convince you that people on the left side of the aisle want to take your guns away. We don't. I'm a Second Amendment rights activist, and I try to do my level best to listen to people on both sides of the aisle, and I truly try to get each side to understand what the other is seeing, feeling, hearing. Something happened to me when I became involved in the gun community, and it's I never would have put this as something that would happen, but I saw it because I'm trans, and it's the craziest business. But I'll lay it on you right here. So there's the haters like to show up and tell trans people that we're monsters. Oh, you're just monsters. You're trying to invade women's spaces, and you're just like, all the shootings are trans people's problem. It's like you're a trans person, you're the problem. It's like, I don't want to hurt anybody, and the majority of trans people, the majority of cisgendered people, the majority of any group of people don't want to hurt anybody. They just want to live happy lives and have their kids grow up happy, be successful, see their neighbors be successful. There's a bad apple in every group of citizens in every nation. Like we have to do things to reach those people who have mental and emotional problems and try to help them solve those things, overcome those things. But there's always some sort of deviant that, a criminal, that sort of person in any group. It's no group of people is perfect. No human is perfect. So basing the whole community, basing the whole perspective of trans people on the malicious acts of like one person is absolutely upside down. It's no different than, I don't know, say a middle-aged white man goes into a gas station and holds the place up. Now all of a sudden all middle-aged white men are bad, and you're all going to be all going to be gas station robbers because this one guy no, it doesn't work like that. It's the same thing in this instance. Like, there might be one bad person out of, I don't know, 10,000. I don't know. But I started to see the same sort of attacking to the gun community from the left. And it was so crazy for me to see it, because I could put the parallel right next to each other. It was like every time there's been a mass shooting, like any mass shooting is awful, period. And even one mass shooting is one too many. Let's just get that straight right off the get-go. Any mass shooting is one too many. But if you compare the number of mass shootings in this country to the number of individuals in this country who own guns, the majority of gun owners in this country are responsible, good people. They do with guns like they are expected to do. They're responsible about it. They're safe about it. And you go to a concealed carry class, you go to, gun clubs and things like that. They stress safety. That's first and foremost. You always treat a gun like it's loaded, even if it's not. And um, some of the concealed carry classes and things like that, they use dummy guns where it's a piece of solid plastic. There's, it looks like a gun, but that's it. It's a total dummy lookalike, just so that someone gets used to handling it, and you can teach them like where to point it when you know to be responsible and point it away from people at all times, and always believe that it's loaded, and always believe that it's dangerous. And we teach that with these fake pieces of plastic too, like treat it like it's a loaded gun, and folks do. It's the majority of gun owners in this country are responsible people, and adding more laws to the existing gun laws, we have good gun laws. There's quite a few there. We need to do a better job of enforcing the laws that we have, and I think there's states that are starting to do it. Michigan just recently held this father accountable for the mass shooting that his son did, because it was his gun and he left it out and his kid found it, and like that's where the responsibility should land. The gun owner who let the problem child get access to that weapon, that's where the responsibility should lie. I don't think you just let the child go free. Like, obviously he has to be rehabilitated, and has to understand what he did was really bad, and like whatever punishment you get what I'm getting at. When you start to hold the gun owners accountable, the individual gun owner, not the whole community, the rest of the community pays attention to it, and they go, "Oh, where's my handgun? Do I have it locked up right?" Well, yeah, you better get right with all that, because they're setting a precedent that if you leave your handgun out and someone does a terrible act with it, it's on you, because you didn't take care to make sure that it couldn't be got by somebody that's awful. And I'm a gun owner, so it's on me too if I leave a weapon sitting somewhere where someone with deviant thoughts can get at it and do some evil things. Like, and I make sure my weapons are secure. That's what being a responsible gun owner is, and that's what I try to teach people. But adding more gun laws to the existing laws that we have, you're not going to stop the criminals by doing that. They break the laws that are there already. Adding more, they're not going to care about breaking more. They'll just break them. So what you're doing actually by adding more gun laws is making it more difficult for the responsible gun owners to actually follow the law and take care of themselves. Like some of the laws that have gotten passed on some of these magazine laws, like California, don't agree with that. I don't agree with the gun law that got passed in Virginia of too many rounds in a magazine. It's like, these are stock magazines. It's not like it's any sort of extended magazine. It's like 10 rounds. Like that's a typical, it's been that way for decades, and like most people are not out there doing awful things. It's I think we need to put the responsibility on the irresponsible gun owners, that the individuals, not the community. And I think there's states that are starting to do that. I think if more states did that, more people would make sure that they're being responsible. And you can take it from me, most gun owners are responsible. So I got off on this tangent. If anybody has any questions for me, for my for my campaign. If you have any questions about any things I'm running on, feel free to ask. Right in the chat, it'll show up right on the screen, right over here. And but my name is Katrina DeVille. I'm running for United States Congress in Wisconsin's 8th Congressional District. I've been a musician for 35 years. I've never run for government before. And I'm showing up in this moment because you need a fighter. Wisconsin needs a fighter. Wisconsin needs someone different with different plans and different perspectives. I don't subscribe to what the party has done in the past. I don't subscribe to the way we've done things and status quo. That's not how you end up with a different result. You have to actually vote for someone who is different with different perspectives to come out with a different result. If you look at any Democrats, Republicans, all across the board, they wear the same suits. They had the same haircuts. They wear the same tie. They all wear the same shoes. They say all the things they say start to sound the same. Their websites look the same. Like, check it out. Like, I did. It was like, I made it a point to stay who I am. Like, this is who I am. This black's always been my favorite color. There's a reason I stayed how I am, because it's genuine, and it's not me trying to pretend to be something I'm not. And it's different, and that should be a good thing when the same hasn't been getting us there. We've been voting for the same kind of politicians my whole life, and you can see where it's gotten us. It's not working. So we literally need to vote for someone that is different if we're going to get past all of it. That's why people are so excited about Fran. That's why I'm so excited about Fran. We run on similar platforms, similar ideals. I support her. She's great. I've been lucky to hang out with her here and there, on her campaign trail. I've a couple minutes here, a couple minutes there. I always consider myself lucky to see her because she's got a fire in her heart. So do I. It takes quite a bit to stand out here and speak the truth and say the things. And people who show up every day to try and knock you down and ridicule and things like that. And you have to truly believe in yourself. You have to truly believe in the cause that you're pursuing. And I honestly do. Like, I don't. If I ever stop believing in the American people and people of Wisconsin, I don't think I can get out of bed in the morning. So when I was growing up, my mom and dad taught me that you should always try to make a place better because you've been there. You should always leave someplace better than how you found it. And I haven't felt like we're doing that. And when I started to transition, I came into the realization that we only have so many days here in this world. And there's certain things that I was afraid to do because of how I'd be looked at or how I'd be judged or who wouldn't be able to accept it or what friends would make fun of me or like at the end of this whole thing, you got one person to answer to, and it's yourself. And I realize that. And when I turn around on my very last day, look at my son, and look at all my friends, look at all the rest of my family. I want to know that what I did here made it better for everybody that's here. And that's why I'm running for Congress. Like, I want to know that on my very last day, this place is better because I've been here. And that's honest to God truth, right from my heart. Yeah, I've been talking for almost an hour. It's pretty good. Ain't nobody got any questions out there. I guess I'm clear enough in my with my cat cards. You know, it's like I don't I don't hide nothing. You know, like, you want to know my policies, like you can read them from across the room. You know, let me grab. I got a card hanging on the wall right there, but I'll go grab one out of the car. I'll be right back. So we got a couple more days until. Oh, that's really sweet. That's really sweet comment. Thank you. I would like to think so. Oh, see if we can get this focus thing to work. Is it gonna do it? Well, might have to see if I can get out of this. Get it to autofocus for me. Did it? Did it do it? Not well. Not nice. Now did it? Nope. Still fuzzy. Dang it. See if I can get it to. It's supposed to autofocus. Oh, back to technical difficulties, of course. You know. Let's see what we can do here. Let's see where the tools. Yeah. Yep. Let's find the view. Yeah. Is it in there? Let's see if I can. Where's the get it to refocus? I'd set it up. I tried to set it up so they wouldn't do autofocus, and I think it overrode me. Oh, maybe let's see if we can. Let's see, configure video. Yep, there it is. All right, where's the focus? Here. Yep, found it. I think we got it. I think that's better. Let's see. Yeah, it's all right. Well, I really appreciate that comment. That's really sweet. We're pushing. We're really pushing. I think we got a chance at this, at winning this. There's a lot of LGBTQ people out there that I've talked to that they hear the message I'm putting down. There's a lot of folks that are seriously angry right now at this administration. They got good reason to be. This administration just keeps doing things to make life worse for everybody here. And so I'm always looking for people to be on the team. If you want to be part of the team, got cat cards. And oh yeah, that is pretty blurry, isn't it? See if I can fix that. But Oh, you're awesome. Well, I mean, at least I got the guts to go and to go and get it done, right? Um, let's see, where's that configure thing again? Let's see, video capture device. Yeah, this. Configure video, sure. Um, let's see what we can do with this camera control, focus. Let's see. Oh, yeah, I think that's, oh, that's better. Yeah, look at that. Great. Fantastic. Hello. Back to clear. That's better. Hello. It's, yeah. There we go. Oh, yeah. Brilliant. Fantastic. Cat cards. Look at, yeah. See? Yeah, it's me. It's a good picture. iPhone. um, yeah, so Medicare for all, taxing the rich. And that's literally raising the taxes of the richest 1,100 people in this country and bringing taxes down for everybody else. $22 an hour minimum wage. Where I got that number from? There is a living wage calculator online. MIT has this and they maintain it, and it is free. So anybody can look this up. The information is right there for you to see it. All you have to do is go to Google and type in MIT living wage calculator. Okay. And it has all 50 states listed on there. So you can pick whatever state you live in. You can pick whatever area you live in or your friends live in. You can see what it costs to live there, but they set it up differently than what you're thinking. So say you want to check on what it costs to live in Appleton, Wisconsin right now on the living wage calculator. So you go on to MIT living wage calculator and you select Wisconsin, and then you select Appleton, Wisconsin. They have it broken down by counties and metropolitan areas. And so you can pick Appleton, you can pick Green Bay, you can pick Milwaukee, you can pick Madison. But if you live in Wapaka, they offer Wapaka County. I didn't make the map. It will tell you what you need to make per hour at a job to live in that city, in that county. That's where it's different. It doesn't give you like your yearly end wage. It tells you how much you need to make per hour to live there. And last time I checked, it was $21.54 an hour to live in Green Bay. That's a single person with no children. They give you 12 different family configurations. So you literally can pick out whatever configuration your current family is to know what it costs per hour, what you have to make per hour at a job to live there. Last time I checked, Appleton was like $21.64. And people have been a bit critical of MIT with this living wage calculator, saying that they're actually erring on the low side with this, with the numbers that they give there, because they don't figure in for family emergencies. They don't figure in for going on vacation. They don't figure in for the TV blew up, so I need to go buy a new TV, or the car died, so I need to go buy a new car. None of that's figured in there. This is just the basic of just getting by. So $21.52 an hour, I think at $22 an hour, I'm not being overly generous. Like, there's a little bit of wiggle room in there. It's a nice even number, $22 an hour. Should it be more? Yeah. but we'll start with something. And like it's $7.25 right now. $7.25 an hour. Did you know the minimum wage has not moved in this country since July of 2009? It's almost 20 years. Almost 20 years. I was just on Ben Comano's show this morning, and he was talking about it with me, and he said that I'd forgotten about this, but he said you probably don't even remember when you were little, like, or when you were younger, it moved like every year. It went up because the cost of living goes up, and Congress adjusted it, and somewhere on the line, 2009, last time it went up. 2010 it was also like when Scott Walker was in government here, and that just tells me that things weren't super great at the federal level back then either. That's the last time it went up, is almost 20 years ago, and the cost of everything keeps going up in this country. You don't think inflation hasn't stopped just because they've forgotten about the minimum wage, and Bernie's not forgotten about it. AOC's not forgotten about it. Yeah. Representative Stansbury's not forgotten about it. We need to get that minimum wage up and let people actually make a living wage. And there's a bunch of different ways we go about making sure that our smaller companies don't get hobbled by those new minimum wage laws. We need to have it written right in the legislation that Congress should be required every year to go and look at the comparison between what the cost of living is and what the minimum wage is. And if it needs to get adjusted, they adjust it. It becomes written in there that they need to do this. Because what happens when you don't have a Bernie Sanders in there yelling to fix this? What happens when you don't have an AOC in there yelling, you need to fix this? What happens when you don't have a Katrina DeVille in there yelling, we need to fix this? We can have it a lot easier than we have it right now, folks. And the money's there for it. When I started talking about Medicare for all, I knew the first question anybody's going to ask is, well, how are you going to pay for it? So I'd had the thought of instituting, so I was like, this is off the wall, never been done sort of idea. I was like, maybe we need a 1% federal sales tax. But I don't think we need that. I really don't. There's been money for all sorts of stupid shit, like reflecting pools and crap like that. Like, there's money there for healthcare. They're going to tell you there isn't, and then they're going to go and blow mountains of money on wars for oil. So, I don't know about you, but I would rather be taking care of people here. I'd rather be seeing our kids get free lunches at schools than blowing up schools in another country. And like, as far as that goes, maybe we should try to do more talking and less blowing up. Seems to me that the military comes out a bit too quick, and the negotiations and the peacekeeping don't happen long enough. You need that's a real big part of being a politician, is being able to speak to anybody and like not get all twisted out of shape. Actually have respectful and level-headed conversations. I would like to see a whole lot less war. I'd like to see no more war and just see that money to help the American people. It occurred to me not very long ago, it occurred to me that we've been at war like my whole life. From the Persian Gulf all the way to where we're at now. It's like we've been at war my whole life. And for a country that ain't been in war, sure been a whole lot of, yeah. I think we have to reel this war machine in. I think we need to take care of our military and take care of our borders and take care of our country. But we're really, really, really good at doing those things. I think adding more money to the military budget is ridiculous when it's already bonkers, leagues and miles beyond how they fund anything else. I would like to see programs happen to help folks, make infrastructure stronger, faster. I just heard somebody talking about it last week for the state of Wisconsin. They're like, how would you feel about high-speed rail? That would be really cool, in my opinion. How do y'all feel about high-speed rail? I think it's a good idea. Yeah, be no more traffic jams. Imagine that. So, the big bad socialist. Medicare for all. Taxing the rich. $22 an hour minimum wage. Human rights, which means I stand up for trans rights. I stand up for marriage equality. I stand up for women's rights. I stand up for disabled people's rights. I stand up for black people's rights, brown people's rights, immigrants, you name it. If you're a human, you deserve to not be oppressed. And you deserve to not be marginalized. This whole idea that our worth is based on us being able to do something is upside down too. You're a human. You have merit. That's how that goes. And I think there's other things in this country that really need help too. We have to make sure that we have universal health care. We have to make sure that we have universal child care. When you have all these families that only have one person working in a time in our country's history when it takes two people's income to survive, we have to start doing things that make it easier for families, mothers and fathers to go to work and not have to worry that, well, like it costs me more to take my child to childcare than I make working, so I'll just stay home. It's like, that doesn't help anybody. It's a serious problem and people need help with it. So, just got a message from one of my lovely helpers in New London. She's got signs out there. If anybody wants yard signs out there, I've got yard signs. There's yard signs at every Democratic Party office, and if they're out of them, let me know. I've got more. I'm going to be around the district next couple days. I've got events all the way up until the election night. See, tomorrow is Saturday. I'm doing a Wisconsin Farmers Union meet and greet in Wapaka, so that's cool. My dad's whole family was farmers, and my mom's whole family was farmers. So farming is pretty strong in my family's lineage. I was the president of 4-H for 2 years. My club in Fond du Lac happened to be it was the largest 4-H club in Wisconsin when I was president. We had 150 kids in 4-H, right? It's awesome. So yeah, my grandpa was a farmer. I used to spend tons of time in the summer on his farm, feeding chickens and feeding the geese, feeding the pigs, and collecting eggs. And I remember watching sheep get shorn and having to help fix the tractor. My grandpa did all his farming with it was old school, farm all M's, and back when if you wanted more help, you had to have more kids. I don't think I ever saw my grandpa one day without bib overalls on. He had them on every day I saw him, and he always had a can of Copenhagen in his front pocket, and yeah, farming is deep in my family's blood. My mom was a teacher, and my grandma was a teacher, and 3 of my aunts were teachers. So teaching's pretty strong in my family's blood too. If you're a teacher, an educator, I absolutely 100% stick up for you, and I will go to bat for you with everything I got. Our state legislature has hobbled the education system and our teachers here in the state for far too long, and that all started under Scott Walker. I am hopeful that we can get Fran into office, and I'm hopeful that we can get me into office, because I would love to work with her from the federal level to the state level to fix the education system, not only in this state, but in the rest of the country. Things I'll be doing at the federal level will affect the entire nation. I know that. And I go there with Wisconsin at the forefront of my mind, but I realize the weight of things that I would be doing there, and it's not lost on me whatsoever. It's an immense honor, and I go there with the understanding that I'm very much in the fight for my life, but I'm very much in the fight for everyone's lives here, because Congress people vote on things every day that seriously affect people's lives, positively or negatively. And I think a lot of the people sitting in those chairs over there they've really forgotten that. They think it's some kind of game. When people are, suffering, like literally suffering, and not being able to afford food and all that, you need to have people in that office that understand what it's like to have to get by with nothing and have to scrape and scratch along to get even the smallest bit ahead. I do. Been a small business owner for over 20 years. Been a broke musician for 35 years. Not that I never made money, but being in the entertainment industry, when you make a little bit of money, you put it back into pushing the pushing the message. You advertise like, oh, I made a little bit of dough, so now you advertise so you can get better paying gigs, and then you advertise more so you can get better paying gigs than that. But like as you go up in gigs, the cost of advertising goes up too because it's like the dog chasing the tail sort of thing. But you play music because you love music, not because you want to get rich by it. That's the one in a million story. And I think I've had the opportunity in my life to play with some pretty spectacular music stars. People like Jackson Brown, people like Charlie Sexton, people like Earl Slick. I loved every moment of that, like that. But I think this moment right here is my. I think this moment right here is my special moment. It's it would be an absolute honor to go to Congress for Wisconsin. I can't even put it to words. It's when I think when I was about 12 years old, my dad sat me and my brother down, and he said, I want you to watch this movie because it's one of my favorite movies, and I really think you'll like it." And it was Mr. Smith Goes Washington. And I'll bet you I've watched that movie probably 60 times since that day. I could sit here and watch it with y'all right now. Love that movie so much. That movie was what got me started on my love for this country. And then I went on my first real music tour right around, I think it was right around the year 2000. I went down to New Mexico, played some shows all the way down and all the way back, and so we stopped in Texas, and we're sitting there, and I was just looking around. Texas looks quite a bit different than Wisconsin does, especially in February, which is when we were down there. It's pretty white here in February, pretty damn cold. But I started looking around, and like everywhere we went, it was just amazing. Like Kansas with all the wheat fields, and you get into Texas, and it's Cadillac Ranch and Amarillo, and you got Austin with all the music, and just you get down to San Antonio, like the Alamo and all that. And it's just like there's so much in Texas. But then like we kept on going down to like New Mexico, and all the cactus and the tumbleweed and the jackrabbits with the really long ears, and like there's some really wild stuff out there that like they don't have here. And it got me to thinking, like, there's this time period from when politicians get elected to when they actually get sworn into office. And it's like 2.5 months, something like that. And I had the thought that like every politician at the federal level anyways should be required to get in a bus and go from sea to shining sea all the way across the United States on this bus tour, so that they can remember why they're going to Congress. They can remember what's out there and who's out there. They go sit in that lofty office, those comfy leather chairs. They forget who shoulders this country. It's middle class, it's the working class, it's farmers, it's factory workers, it's secretaries, It's doctors, lawyers, auto workers, steel workers, steam fitters, green energy engineers, people building windmills, people building solar panels, people tilling a field, people milking cows, except Tom Tiffany. No cow wants that. Well, if anybody's got any questions, I'll hang on for a little bit longer. But yeah, I think I've done all right here. I've tried to, impromptu town hall. Anybody wants to come ask me some questions about my platform, things like that, feel right free to go ahead and put a comment on there. I'll take a couple minutes here to just catch my breath and come back around and I'll talk to you about a couple of new things I've got kind of cooking. I got a pet project list that I'm working on, and I will clue you in on that because there's some things that have been going on in this country for a long damn time, and I've been paying attention. And I know a lot of y'all out there have been paying attention. Every time I go somewhere to meet some folks, go to a meet and greet, talk to some people, go to lunch. I ain't got to be going to a meet and greet. I just go to lunch and like hear conversations, people like talking and like what are y'all interested in? What y'all talking about over there? Because like if it's something that like, oh my God, did you see this data center that they're trying to put up over here? Did you see this? This they just got up 6 brand new flock cameras over there. Like this is how you hear about stuff. You just pay attention, listen, and you bring notebooks with so you can take notes and come home and research this stuff. Because that's nerd. I'm okay with that. I come home and figure out what's going on, and there's more times than not like, wow, look at that. People need to find out about this. And so I've got a pet project list like that of things that folks have reached out to me about, like, hey, did you know that they're underfunding this? Or did you know that these people got no food over here? Or that, like, holy wow, so yeah, these are absolutely programs that I want to try and take care of. That was about 2 months ago. I had this really, really nice gentleman from Madison message me on Facebook, and we never met before, but he's retired military veteran, and he was in Madison telling me about all these veterans that are in homeless shelters down there, and I was like, that breaks my heart. Like that literally breaks my heart. These are the folks that went to war for us, whether it was a war for oil. That's not why they signed up. They signed up because they wanted to go fight bad guys, and I know that. I've known some. I know some people in the Army and Navy, and like, thank you for your service. Seriously, means the world to me. And the very, very least I can do is defend y'all with that same kind of energy. I absolutely will. We need more shelters for veterans. We need more mental health help for veterans, but we need more mental health help for everyone in this country. We need to stop demonizing mental health. There's nothing wrong with it. I actually think there's something wrong if you don't go and deal with your mental health. I've had a therapist for years that I see once a week. I come out of there feeling awesome every week. Like, I don't necessarily go feeling super bad every week, but like, you've got like an expert at dealing with emotions. It's like the difference between fixing your car in your driveway or taking it to a pro. It's my life is exponentially better because I've had someone to talk to about things that maybe would be too difficult to talk with people about. I really encourage everyone to have a therapist. It's super helpful, and I think I would like to have that tied into the Medicare for All plan. Like this whole idea of like teeth aren't covered and vision isn't cut. Like, who thought of this? Like, it's all connected. It should all be covered. Medicare for all. And yeah, well, I'll give you all a few minutes. I'll catch my breath and I'll be right here. But if you got any questions, I'll just hang on a little bit more and I'll do my best to answer them. But all right, so let's talk about this. Let's talk about this pet project list of mine, right? I got 7 things on there right now. The last 2 I just added yesterday. It should have been on there a while ago, but there's a lot to think about when you're running for Congress. There's a lot of things to do, and there's a lot of bases to cover, and I've been doing my damnedest to cover them all. Sometimes it takes me longer to get to a questionnaire or something like that, or put a new thing on my pet project list. You know, there it is, pet project list. And I think most people would agree with everything I've got on this list, but we'll see. 7 things. We need more dedicated women's shelters in this district. There are no dedicated women's shelters in Green Bay. Like, there's domestic abuse shelter, but that's not women exclusive, and we need that. We seriously do. This whole area needs more help for the homeless shelters. They are overwhelmed. I'm going to see what I can do at the federal level to help them out, because they are helping literally the people that are struggling the most in our society. When you reach down to help up the people that are struggling the most, you raise the entirety of the society. That's what I'm trying to do here, folks. I'm trying to make the whole thing better. As they rise, we all rise. You dig? I think Appleton and Green Bay need to be made trans and LGBTQ sanctuary cities. I think there's a whole lot of inclusivity in both of those cities. Pride Fest in both of them were just, God, what a great bunch of days those were. I got to meet so many great people, give so many hugs, and just like unattached love, just respect and love in our heart for all the individuals around us. That's 100% what it was for Pride Fest for me this year. So yeah, I would like to see Appleton and Green Bay become trans sanctuary cities and LGBTQ sanctuary cities. I think we need a trans and LGBTQ Bill of Rights. When so much of this country and government comes to attack us on a constant basis, there's a definite need for putting in writing things that will protect us. We need more money for Social Security and retirement. Some people only get $900 a month. That's not cutting it. Not when rent is like $1,500. $900 a month in Social Security. That needs to be taken care of. And they keep talking about how we're going to get less Social Security benefits as time goes on here because they haven't done anything to fix it. We need to fix it. That's on the list. Social Security. Fix it. Mike Johnson wants to cut. No, that's the wrong answer. We need to fix it. It's not, you're supposed to be a problem solver, Mr. Johnson. That means try to fix things that help the American people. Don't just chop them away. My grandma would have called that being lazy. Just saying. I'd call it being lazy too. So there. Number 6, dismantling the Heritage Foundation. Yeah, that's right. They want to get rid of trans people. They want to get rid of gay people. They want to get rid of disabled people. They want to control women. And before you go and tell me there's some right-wing think tank and they don't mean anybody any harm, horseradish. And I got the proof for you too. If anybody ever had any question of what the Heritage Foundation was originally created for and what they still exist on to today, I'll be kind enough to point out the fact to you that Roe versus Wade was ruled on by the Supreme Court of the United States on January 22nd, 1973. And the Heritage Foundation was formed on February 16th, 1973. It's like 30 days. It's disgusting. They want to control women, and that's what it really comes down to. That's the bottom line. That's the end game of that whole organization, that whole Project 2025, that 6-inch thick. Yeah, that's where they're going. That's the whole thing. Yep. We are in the middle of that, and they don't want you to remember. Got it? They want you to think everything's fine because they're behaving themselves. It's not fine. They've rolled back human rights. They've rolled back women's rights. Abortion care has literally caused the deaths of women in this country because they've been denied care, because they've shown up at hospitals with problems. And abortion could have fixed it. And that state had an abortion ban. And then the woman died. And she could have been saved. And I really think my number 7 pet project, we need to reestablish the office of the Attorney General of the United States as an elected position. The president appoints the Attorney General of the United States. Yet 43 states out of our 50 vote for our Attorney General at state. Think about that. People have asked me what we could do to make sure that this sort of scenario never happens again. The scenario being a malicious, tyrannical government that is using every little loophole shortcoming to exploit the weaknesses of our government framework and destroy it. They don't want to see that happen ever again. I don't want to see that happen ever again. There's things that we can do to make sure that it doesn't happen ever again. And if we had a publicly elected attorney general, they would be more in tune and more concerned with defending the Constitution and defending the people of this country than defending the ideology of Donald Trump and his megalo that's too much of a word. Can't say it. Megalomaniacism. He installed that person because that person's a loyalist, and they're going to follow the orders of Donald Trump and ignore the Constitution. They've been doing it. Like, they've straight up just been doing it. Like, when you have states like Iowa that have removed human rights protections for trans people, the Attorney General of the United States could sue the piss out of them if the Attorney General was concerned about citizens of this country and concerned with upholding the Constitution. They're not, okay? When you have Kansas throwing out the driver's license and birth certificate trans people, you could have the Attorney General sue the piss out of Kansas. They're not. When you have Tennessee locking legislators out of session because they're Democrats, where's the Attorney General? Yeah, he's not. Nope. Not suing them either. Should be. This country's pretty upside down right now, folks. And, like, the Republican Party got into office and ran like a race car to get all of this crap done. Got to give them credit. They know how to align, and they know how to stay on target and keep pushing until they got it. Well, we need to push back. That means sending someone to Washington who's not afraid to push back, who's not afraid to be like, what are you doing? Unconstitutional. Can't do that. Bernie needs help. AOC needs help. Rep Stansbury needs help. I want to go help them. And Wisconsin has been a progressive state for years. This state has been purple, even as it's been showing up red. It's gerrymandered. We all know that. Wisconsin has always been on the forefront of progressive change and doing things first or close to first across this nation. You have the opportunity to send the second ever trans woman to the United States Congress. You have the opportunity to send the very first trans woman from Wisconsin to Congress. I'd love to be that person. I'm a democratic socialist. I make no bones about it. I am trans woman. Make no bones about that. I am here speaking the truth, genuine self. When the one thing I've struggled with for 45 years has been overcome, I will have no problem telling you the truth, telling you how things are. Doesn't matter how hard of a truth it is, I'll have to tell. I have waged my hardest battle, and it was overcoming myself and my own fears. I speak to you from genuine heart and genuine center of intention, and that is love for the state of Wisconsin, love for District 8, and love for all the people here. My name is Katrina DeVille, and I'm running for United States Congress in Wisconsin's 8th Congressional District. And I'm asking for your vote on August 11th. It would be my absolute honor to be your Congresswoman. I love you, Wisconsin. God bless Wisconsin, and God bless the United States of America. I want to thank you all for coming to my live stream today. I think 2 hours, pretty darn good. If y'all have any questions, feel free to ask them in the comments. I'll check comments too. This live stream will stay so that people can see it. Want to, hear all about me? Everything's right here. If there's anything you think I need to pay attention to, let me know. And I love you, Wisconsin. I love you, District 8. Vote DeVille for Congress. All right? Let's go!